I believed the system. I believed in people. I believed in medical professionals. I believed in doctors. I believed that putting vaccines and poisons into my son at birth was going to be okay. I was ignorant to believe that. I was naive to think that by doing so, by putting so many vaccines at once into my newborn baby's body was going to be okay. And then we go to this doctor, Dr. Van Beaver, that we trust, and we say, hey, okay, do we really need all of this at once? What about autism? No, it's perfectly safe and effective. It's perfectly fine. We're just going to do them all at once. And so we trusted that. That day I watched my son's lights go out. They caught my son up with 3 more fucking vaccines that same day when they walked in there and told my mom that it was okay. My mom did not consent to this. They gave my son 3 more vaccines, 3 more, 3 months later, and said, oh, we're just gonna catch him up after he was already compromised. He deserved to be able to grow up and play baseball. He deserved to be able to have a girlfriend, to get married. He deserved to not have to live at home for the rest of his life. He deserves to have a life, to be able to enjoy things, to be able to go outside and kick a ball and have friends and say, I'm sorry for lying to you. I'm sorry for what I did to your son. Your son did not deserve this. I knew that this was gonna happen, and I let it happen anyways because of money. I want that. I want that on public record. That's it. I don't even want the money.
Let me properly introduce you. Kasey Kahl is a former participant of the show Bachelorette, who is now leading a revolutionary wellness clinic called the Body Building. His mission became personal when his son Kiptyn was diagnosed with autism. Witnessing the failures of the conventional medical system firsthand, Kasey launched the nonprofit AcresForAutism.org organization to provide families with innovative solutions. Mr. Kahl is a leading voice exposing vaccine schedules that have devastated a generation of children. Kasey is a husband, a father of 2, and a man of God. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you having me on. This is great. I'm just happy to be here and happy to chat with you, man. I've been excited about this. Thanks for accommodating. I know we've missed each other a couple times. Yes. My son got sick the last time I was supposed to come down, but we're here today, brother. Thank you.
So, Kasey, please tell me what it is like to raise an autistic child.
Wow, jumping right in, man. I love it. I love it. It's not what I expected. I grew up, thinking, oh man, I can't wait to teach my son baseball. I can't wait to teach my son football. I can't wait to be his coach. I can't wait to do this and this, And I knew I was having a son before I was having a son. I knew that when my wife and we went through IVF, we were told we could never have babies naturally. So we went through IVF, and I remember the procedure, the process. It was so delicate. And the second that we found out that our eggs had taken and the transfer had taken, I knew that I was having a boy. And from that second on, I knew that I was going to do whatever I could to help him have the best life possible. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know and didn't expect was what actually happened and what transpired. It is always an emotional moment, and I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional. Here we are in the first few minutes, but I believed the system. I believed in people. I believed in medical professionals. I believed in doctors. I believed that putting vaccines and poisons into my son at birth was going to be okay. I was ignorant to believe that. I was naive to think that by doing so, by putting so many vaccines at once into my newborn baby's body was going to be okay. We grew up with maybe 1 or 2 vaccines at birth and maybe 6 or 7. How old are you?
37.
And so even if you were pro-vax, you would have maybe only had 6 or 7 vaccines your entire life. Now it's 87 plus at birth, and we were forced to put 6 or 7 of them in my son's body at 6 months. I asked my doctor, Dr. Van Beaver, what do you think? I don't know, should we space them out? I just don't like the idea of putting them all into my son's body. He's 5 months, 6 months. He's perfectly fine. I have video. He's healthy. He's smiling. He's talking. He's laughing. He's mimicking words. I have video of this. And then we go to this doctor, Dr. Van Beaver, that we trust, and we say, hey, okay, do we really need all of this at once? What about autism? No, it's perfectly safe and effective. It's perfectly fine. We're just going to do them all at once. And so we trusted that. That day I watched my son's lights go out. I watched him get sick as a dog. He spiked fevers of 104, 105. All those adjuvants, those metals, the aluminum, the chemicals, they got past the blood-brain barrier and they went straight to the brain.
The same day.
Same day.
What vaccine was?
All of them. It was 5 or 6 at once. It was MMR. It was mRNA. It was the initial ones that you're supposed to get at 5 or 6 months that you're supposed to get all at once.
One shot?
One shot. Multiple all at once. Yeah, I think it was like 5 or 6 in the same day. All just boop, 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 boop. He came home so sick, and me and my wife knew. We didn't know what it was, because you get this diagnosis, oh, it's just autism, right? Or it's, oh, he's just delayed. Well, all the things, his progression, everything. And now he's got ear infections. He's got stuff coming out of his ears. That's brain inflammation that's coming out. That's not an ear infection. I mean, there's so much stuff to this that I can go down a rabbit hole that would make you sick to your stomach.
Please.
I mean, talk about people say, oh, colic. Colic is not a thing. Colic is your baby suffering and screaming and crying. And I say this because I have a newborn baby, right? I watched my son's lights go out. Now we're doing incredible things for him, for him to be better and to develop and to become normal, but he's not, right? You asked me what it's like raising an autistic child. Nothing that I expected, because I expected his life to be so much different, and he deserved to have a different life. He deserved to be able to grow up and play baseball. He deserved to be able to have a girlfriend, to get married. He deserved to not have to live at home for the rest of his life. He deserved for me to not have to worry about what happens to him when I'm gone. He deserves to have a life, to be able to enjoy things, to be able to go outside and kick a ball and have friends. And if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been able to do that, which he just was able to do a couple weeks ago. But this is nothing of what I expected, and this is nothing what he deserves. He deserves better. He went from being happy, smiling, enjoying life, to right after those shots, being sick. You can see it in his eyes. They go out. Everything is just gone. That day, a part of him left, and a part of me left, and a part of me, all I want to do is help him and help other families to not have to endure what I've had to go through by putting these poisons into their newborn babies' bodies. They do not have to. These vaccines are causing more damage and more death than the actual diseases themselves ever will. We can go down every single disease. You can ask me every single one. Polio, when was the last death? 1970. Measles, mumps. We can go back decades. I mean, these things have been eradicated. These things are not harming our babies, and if they do, we can treat them naturally. Naturally. When I grew up and I was hearing of the measles, the mumps, I was like, yo, I get to stay home from school today. Right. Literally, I was never worried about death. Now we're worried about death on our babies. No, the reason why is because they want you to think that your baby can die. So you have to put those poisons inside of your baby. You do not have to, and you should not have to, and you absolutely should not, considering none of them have ever been safely tested, ever.
So
ever.
CDC a few days ago came up with this new article and says, vaccines do not cause autism. Autism is not evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines can cause autism.
Yeah. And guess what? No press release, no mainstream media, no announcements, no platform, no podium, no nothing. You just told us the quiet part out loud that we've been screaming for decades. And now you're just going to go ahead and slowly remove that and say that we're right? Without telling us, hey, we're sorry. You know what I mean? We've kind of gaslit you. We've kind of manipulated you. We've lied to you. We've made you literally think that vaccines cannot and will not ever cause any type of autism or neurological disorder or Parkinson's or dementia, we can go on all day long. All day long. All of these things are the cause of so many different diseases that we don't even know about. And it starts with putting these poisons and toxins and chemicals into our bodies. And I can go through every single ingredient and tell you exactly what they do and the contraindication they will have in your newborn baby's body. But a doctor cannot do that for you.
So before that, I would love to go to the timeline. You went to see a doctor, pediatrician.
Yeah.
You got the shot. Your kid got the shots.
Yeah.
You came home. What time was that?
So this was 5 months. We went in the morning. We got him his shots. We said, okay, fine. He did 5 shots at once. We took him home. This is during COVID, by the way, right? This is right after COVID. This is right after I had to shut down my business because of COVID, right? My business, I get my son's gets so sick from these vaccines. This is all happening at once, and we're confined. We're stuck at home, right? So we can't even do anything. There's nothing that we can do or whatever. And now we're scared of all these diseases. We're scared of COVID. So now we're like, no, we have to get these vaccines, right? We have to. Oh, you have to get these vaccines because all these things are happening. Thank God we never gave him the COVID vaccine. I don't know what that would have done to his poor little body, but we still allowed these 5 vaccines at once. And we watched him regress.
So you came home?
And he was so sick, nonstop crying.
Same day?
Same day.
Fever?
Fever, 104, 105. So we get scared. We call the doctor. Hey, he's sick. Just give him Tylenol. Right, so Tylenol, I've said this in all of my shows, Tylenol does not cause autism. Tylenol is the transportation vessel that allows that to happen. When you take all these adjuvants and metals all at once, they're supposed to stay in a certain area, not travel and get past the blood-brain barrier. All these metals, toxins, adjuvants, dead baby DNA, all these things are going into your baby. All of these, and an abundance of them as well. When you take Tylenol, Tylenol depletes all of the glutathione receptors into your body, eliminating the defense mechanism for your baby. They can't even defend the metals and the heavy toxins from their body now because Tylenol now is depleting that. What does acetaminophen do? Which is actually the drug that's doing this, is also thinning your blood. So it's basically creating a transportation vessel to get to the blood-brain barrier to create havoc, which is what's happening neurologically to these kids. It's either damage to the microgut biome or damage to the neurological area, which is what autism in today's world actually is.
So for the audience that do not know, what's glutathione?
So glutathione is a vitamin, it's a nutrient, it's a mineral, right? It's in our body, we naturally produce it. And what this does, the receptors in our body help defend. It's like a defense system, right? It helps aid in our immune system and our neurological systems, helps defend and protect heavy metals and toxins from our body, helps push it out, for lack of better terms, right? If you take glutathione, you're helping demetal, detoxify the body. That's what that does. When you deplete those receptors with acetaminophen, where's the protection go?
Which is Tylenol.
Which is acetaminophen, which is Tylenol. What happens? You've just lost your defense mechanism. Now you're defenseless as a baby, and now you're getting these toxins and neurotoxins, which is confirmed, right? We just talked about this. This is crazy. So the hepatitis B, right? It contains way over the amount of aluminum that the FDA and the CDC saying that. It says this will harm you, and then you still give the hepatitis B shot to babies, knowingly that this is over the doses that the CDC recommends.
Yeah, but they're saying the form matters, the way you take it matters.
Even though now we're doing autopsies on Parkinson's and dementia patients that have the same amount of aluminum and metals in a newborn baby's body that has autism, that died from not SIDS, not a vaccine injury. No, they just died of whatever causes. You know what I mean? Crazy. This is happening across our country right now. It's disgusting.
So a 5-year-old kid can have an eye contact, right?
Uh-huh.
And your kid had an eye contact prior to the shots.
Yeah.
When did you realize that he can't focus and he can't look into your eyes, he can't have an eye contact?
Right then and there, on that 5 months. Like I said, I watched his lights go out, and he regressed and he got really sick. And then he started doing the stimulations, right? He started beating his head, because this is where the inflammation lies, right? This is my goal with my facility and our nonprofit. We try to eliminate the inflammation in the brain and in the microgut biome to help alleviate those pain. These are symptoms of neurological damage. These are symptoms of microgut biome damage. That's what's happening here. These babies are sick, and that's why they keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And no one wants to treat autism as a biological disorder. They want to treat it like it's a behavioral, so then they can keep masking everything. Right now in today's world, autism is just how much has your baby been vaccine injured. This is not the same autism from 20 years ago where you can be a genius and you can feel good and you can function, you can play sports, you can be an Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. That's not my son. My son has brain damage, and we have to admit that. We have to take accountability for that, for all the other millions of kids that it's also happening to in today's world, because especially we've got mandated vaccines in California just to have an education. So now you're inconvenienced as a parent if you don't get these vaccines. I mean, the system is so corrupt. We can go on for hours about so many different ways and things that are just damaging our babies. But these are the reasons why we're spiking 1 in 4 boys in autism now in California. That's crazy. 1 in 4.
No,
1 in 4
12.
affected. 1 in 12. But we're talking California. California has mandated vaccines in the education systems. 1 in 4, I'm not saying autism, 1 in 4 affected neurologically conditioned baby, neurologically compromised baby. That's what's happening here. ADD, ADHD, something. 1 in 4, our babies are now being affected. You want to talk about the education problem? It's not an education problem because we got bad teachers. I think that's an issue, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is our babies can't develop. They can't project. They can't think properly. They can't focus. They've got too much pills. They've got too much poisons. They've got too much things that are going inside the body that they can't focus. And they're masking all of this, and they're just saying, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. They've got this, more diagnosis, more prognosis, more pills, more Ritalin, more poisons, more vaccines all at once. It's just crazy. Like, they're putting so much all in at once, and why do we keep allowing this to happen? When babies like my son, when we watch their lights go out and we can't bring them back. He deserved a much better life, and we watched it. And by the way, it didn't get better at 6. It got worse. Ear infections, more pills. Oh, and he can't talk. My son can't tell me what's going on. He's crying every day. My son is suffering. He's in pain because his brain is hurting. His head is inflamed. He's got this massive, you can see it in the video, his head is completely inflamed. He's sick to his stomach. He's not digesting properly. I mean, this is all happening because of the vaccines, because he got a toxic overload. We're doing 5 or 6 of these at once. When I get one vaccine, that's enough for me to feel a little sick, a little fluey, a little nasty. My system can defend that. A newborn baby's body cannot defend 6 vaccines at once. You're ignorant to think that it can.
So you called your doctor and said, this is what's happening. Fever, 145. Take Tylenol. What's next?
That's it. And watch them suffer more. Nothing more. That's it.
When was
well,
your
doc,
next...
what about these vaccines? We think that these are a problem. Well, no, it's fine. Completely gaslit us and made us think that it was not the vaccines. I should have known better, but I was in a dark place. I was in a really hard place watching my son suffer. Our business was shut down. Everything, my whole life is shutting down at this point. So I'm completely just trying to get by at this point. I'm in a complete depression. So now, we're trying to take our son to get to these doctor appointments. Now he's ear infections, got pus leaking from his ears. He's crying. He's frustrated. He's not talking. He's not progressing. Right? We obviously know something is wrong at this point. I can't believe for the life of me that this is autism. I don't even really know truly what autism really was at this point. I did talks, I did walks, I did fundraisers. I did not know what this type of autism was, right? This is nonverbal, severe autism where my son's never going to talk again. He's never going to be normal. He's going to be in diapers for the rest of his life is what we're being told. And we just have to sit there and take it.
Literally?
Literally. This is, by the way, there's millions of people. This is not just me. I'm not just one of 10 million. I am one of millions. I'm so many people that are experiencing this same type of autism. When I post videos and these are going by, I'm having families reach out, massive families, just like, oh, the same thing happened to my son. And this is within the past 5 or 6 years. Ever since 2020, they started check this out. So even after we knew that my son was sick, something was wrong, I think 4 or 5 months later, my mom took my son for a checkup, and I did not know this until I checked his records. They caught my son up with 3 more fucking vaccines that same day when they walked in there and told my mom that it was okay. My mom did not consent to this. They gave my son 3 more vaccines, 3 more, 3 months later, and said, oh, we're just going to catch him up after he was already compromised at 5 or 6 months, and they knew that he was. This was negligence. Where's the justice in all of this? I mean, there's millions of families watching this happen to their babies and should not happen, and I'm a walking martyr. I watched this happen to my own son. He had all these vaccines at once, and we watched him suffer, and now he's hurting, and we have to do something about it to help him, right? Or because no one else is. I knew that something was wrong. Me and my wife were told we could never have babies, so we got on peptides. We got on natural treatments. We started doing things for our bodies, and I knew that we were going to have another baby. I felt that God was going to give me another chance at this, and that's exactly what happened. After we started taking care of our bodies, we started taking care of ourselves, we put in the right things to our bodies, took the right things out. 30 days within, I had my card. We knew we were pregnant with my daughter. Naturally, no nothing, no anything. So I knew at this moment I was not going to do anything to my daughter. Not one needle, not one pill, no vitamin K, no anything. She was going to be completely, perfectly naturally. And I was going to show the world that she could be perfectly safe without putting poisons in her body, and she was not going to die, and she was not going to get sick. And if she did, that she could naturally treat it, and she was naturally going to be perfectly fine. So that's exactly what we did. She came into this world, and every doctor came into our room that day fighting us on vaccines and antibiotics. You know what the sick thing is, brother? I had one of my doctors come in, and they were like, oh, man, like, so no vaccines? Okay, cool, I get it. But we're going to do some antibiotics, right? I'm like,
for what reason?
I go, ma'am, it was a lady doctor. I said, do you even understand what happens to the microgut biome with the azithromycin in the first 12 months? You destroy the microgut. Yes, you massacre it. And now they can't digest, they can't function, their immune systems, everything is completely damaged. And you did that with pushing antibiotics. And she goes, oh my God, I never thought of it like that.
She literally said that?
Out loud.
Your doctor said that she had no idea what antibiotics do to the
microbiome of a baby, yes, of a baby. Had no idea, never thought of it like that.
To my body as well. It kills everything.
Correct.
Almost kills everything in my gut.
Correct, but it does even worse to a newborn, and she didn't even process it like that. No doctors do. When I say that story, even doctors, they kind of stopped themselves and like, oh, I never really paid attention.
But they studied for 6 years, minimum, right?
Minimum, yeah. They don't teach you that, I guess.
What do they teach?
I don't know what they teach because it's funny. They say, oh, Kasey, how are you so smart? You're not a doctor. Why should we listen to you? And I laugh. I'm like, if you knew the amount of nights that I stayed up watching your professors, reading your books that you studied, reading all your doctorate that you did, not finding a single bit of information on what I'm actually looking for. But the information and the research that I'm actually looking for is hidden. All the ingredients in the vaccines, all the inserts, all the contraindications of what these chemicals can do to the body, and especially a newborn baby's body, what they actually are doing to the cases that are out there, that are hidden. If you actually take the time to do your research, you will find the devil himself, and you will find pure evil and greed, and you'll realize that this is nothing about more than money and hurting our kids and letting it happen for greed.
When was your kid diagnosed with autism officially?
So fast forward 2 years, he's not developing, not speaking, still stimming hard, not eating, terrible diet. We can't get him to eat right either. Everything's backwards with when your son is neurologically compromised from these types of poisons, it's damaging. So everything is backwards. And I mean, you have to rewire almost everything. So it's not that it's behavioral. It's that the biological makeup of your body is destroyed and they can't process and they can't speak, they can't develop. And that's what hinders these kids, and they're never going to be better unless we admit where it comes from, which the truth is coming out. Yes, it's coming from other chemicals in these vaccines overloading these bodies at once. So we got our diagnosis at 2 years old. All right, 2 years old, we know something's going on, and it's a psychologist that just tells us, oh yeah, he's at stage 2 or whatever.
Out of what? Out of 4?
4. I guess there's 4 stages. I don't really. It's not a thing. This is not behavioral. It's biological. It's how much are they hurt? How much is their brain hurt? How much is their stomach hurt? How much do we need to detox the body? Do they have parasites? How do we eliminate this inflammation? How could we allow them to heal? And when we approach it that way, then we can add ABA, speech, occupational. That's what I'm trying to do. I have a nonprofit to where we are literally testing and treating babies. And we have now launched case studies. And I'm out of funding. I've done this all on my own. Every dollar that I have goes into our center of research and treatments. And I need to turn this into more than just a research and treatment. I need it to be a daycare center with research and treatment so that we can scale this throughout the rest of California. Because what we're doing is we're testing the babies for the deficiencies. We're finding the parasites, the MHTFR gene, different types of things that are hurting or not able to help the baby function on a diet level, vitamin level, deficiency level. And then we'll start treating the baby for inflammation in the brain, microgut biomes. We have natural lasers, natural infrared therapies. We do so many different things. And now we're doing peptides, regenerative therapy, neurological regeneration. Okay. These are different types of things. I would also like to incorporate stem cell, exosomes. And my doctors are all for it, but we can't do it here in the States because it actually works. So, again, there's things that we're trying to do and incorporate, but I'm handcuffed financially. I need hyperbaric. I might be getting an investor to do the hyperbaric. And once we get hyperbaric, we can do some intravenous things with red light and hyperbaric. But again, it's also about healing these bodies on a cellular level. And that's the only way to do this. Not for more pills, not for more poisons, not for more BS. We have to do this on a cellular level. And I need technology. And I think I'm onto something very, very, very big because I'm having kids literally speak. I don't know if you got to watch my recent videos last week. I posted of a kid, 13 years, nonverbal. Violently aggressive, nonverbal, came to my building 3 months ago, screaming, yelling, nonstop. He just said my name 2 times, cool as a cucumber, and knew that he was doing it. And that's from peptides.
So if you go to acresforautism.org, can people donate?
Yes.
Donate?
Yes. Yes, please. And if that is on your heart, we do need funds. I do this all on my own. I fund this on my own. I have been funding this on my own for 5 years. What we're trying to do right now is change everything for autism, and I need funds to build out that technology and find the ways to actually help heal these kids on a cellular level. And I don't charge the families. I'm not a vendor for CRVC. I'm trying to get vendorized, but because I don't do behavioral therapy, I don't get funding. I have to sit back and take it and do it all on my own because all these other people aren't picking up their phones because they know that I'm coming and I'm going to change everything. And their little centers that treat this behaviorally are going to be obsolete because that is not how you treat autism in today's world. You have to treat this at a cellular level on a biological approach to help eliminate the inflammation from the brain and the microgut biome. And that's how we'll start to see progress. And that's how we're seeing progress with my own son and with all kinds of other babies. So please Even if it's 10, 20 bucks, I don't care. I don't charge these families to come get tested or treated. It's on my own dime. Because I know how hard it is. I know exactly how you have to go to 18 different specialists. I want that all under one roof. So a family can come to one roof, have it taken care of, and never have to worry about that. Could you imagine taking your nonverbal son to one place, dropping him off, and leaving him there with all the specialists that he needs, with all of the kiddos in his environment to help him evolve or her evolve, to actually grow, to help mature and develop in a way to eliminate the brain inflammation, to have a great day and then learn something without regressing? That's how you cure autism.
So your son was diagnosed officially with the autism when he was 2.
Yes.
When he was 2 years old, how many hours a day did he sleep? Approximately.
That was hard. That was very hard. The sleepless nights, man, they don't go away. Up until about, I'd say 3, it was a lot of fits, stimming overnight. You just watch your son suffer, man. It is so hard.
So let's say 6-8 hours a day combined, all the
maybe
naps?
Combined, yeah, with naps and stuff like that too. Yeah, not enough. Not enough. And and then it's almost like I feel bad. It's like, you start hearing all these things and this and that. I'm like, man, how can I help him turn his breath? How can I help heal him? How can I fix him? And there's nothing. No, there's nothing that no one has admitted to what these causes are because of the money that's involved in big pharma and these doctors and the pediatricians. They're making fortunes by pushing vaccines, and 5 or 6 at once. You know why they push 5 or 6 at once? Because they're making racks on kickbacks from yields of these pharmaceutical companies, giving them money for incentivizing them, right? Now you've got corporations like the community centers that Michelle Spencer that you had on here, that's where she's in a big lawsuit with them, right? Like they pay these doctors and they give them bonuses for how much vaccines they push. That's the only way they get paid.
How much they can get bonus?
Oh my God, thousands. I mean, I know a doctor that got $250,000 from COVID vaccines.
A year or
yeah, a year. Like just from pushing COVID vaccines. Like it's all public information too.
$250,000
for pushing
a
COVID
year.
for pushing as many COVID vaccines as he did. It's public. It's bonus information.
Okay, so out of 24 hours a day, your son slept, let's say 8 hours. So
Yeah.
16 hours left.
Yeah.
Just for the picture for the audience, out of those 16 hours that he's awake, how many hours did he cry?
Thank you for painting that picture. In the beginning, in the first 2 years, it was every day, every day, bad cries, hysterical cries, and he didn't want dad. He would, in fact, I would hold him just so mom could take a break for lunch, and it was painful. She would go to lunch with some friends. It was during COVID, like they would sit outside in the outside in the to-go area, and every 30 minutes, I'm like, baby, you got to come home. Like he's freaking out, and it was so bad, bro.
Just crying nonstop.
Just nonstop, just in pain, and I mean, oh my God, this and there's nothing you can do, and then all you can do is the doctors are, just take Tylenol to give him this, give him more antibiotics, give him more pills, give him more poisons, go get his adenoids taken out. He's got no more ear infections. Oh, he needs 6 more ear infections before we can do surgery and put tubes in. This is a common thing, bro. And people are going to listen to this, and they're going to hear me say exactly what I'm saying right now. And these are all common denominators for vaccine injury, not autism. Like autism is a facade. It's a phony. It's something to cover up what's actually been going on for so long. These kids are suffering. The kids that cannot talk, the kids that are nonverbal, the stage 2, 3, 4s or whatever you want to talk about, they're suffering. They're hurting. And parents like me have to watch it happen. And if you're not admitting this about your babies, then you're lying to yourself because you don't want to admit that, yes, we've been poisoning our kids for decades. If we would have listened to our girl, Jenny McCarthy, 20 years ago, my son could have been saved. All these babies could have been completely saved. And you know what the best part of my day is when I get to wake up to my messages to my people that are literally telling me, man, thank you so much for what you're doing. Because now I'm not vaccinating my baby at all. 14 million this year have not gotten vaccinated babies, and I'm a little part of that because we're saying our stories, because there's millions of families just like mine that are being manipulated and gaslit and telling it's no, it's just genetic. Vaccines can't cause autism. When did that narrative happen? And now the CDC is literally admitting that's a lie. Where's the outrage? Where's the media? Where's the interviews? Where's the podcasts now? This should be all over mainstream media, and they don't want to cover it. Why? Because they know what's going to happen next. Big Pharma's going to go down, and they're going to be responsible. And Big Pharma, what? That's everyone's payday.
NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB.
Everyone's payday.
So how old is your son right now?
He's 5 now.
He's 5 years old.
Yeah. And my daughter's 1 year old, and she is thriving, perfectly healthy.
So your son does not talk.
No.
He poops in his diapers.
Yes.
And he will always do that for the rest of his life.
And unless we keep doing what we're doing today, actually, yesterday, not today, I drove down here today. Yesterday, he went pee-pee in the potty with our ABA specialist and my nanny. I have my nanny who's also a specialist, and they're working with him a lot too every single day, and we're doing treatments. I'm doing injections. We're doing methylated B and glutathione, and we're adding all the elements to help him build back up his system for defense. And then we're using microdose peptides for regenerative therapy neurologically. So we're doing a lot of different things to help my son. And I wish people would pay attention to this so they can help me do some more case studies. But
he's not going to the restroom to poop or to pee because he doesn't understand.
No, he doesn't understand. I have to walk him to the bathroom, sit him on the toilet, which he will. And now he's sitting on the toilet enough to go pee in the potty at 5 years old. But that was one time out of 20 times a day that they're making him do it, right? It's all about trying to, I understand the behavior of that, but you also have to make sure that you eliminate the brain inflammation so he can absorb this type of information, right? The problem is he'll learn it and it regresses. It goes right out because he can't retain it. The neurological, there's something there, right?
Does he know who are you?
I hope so. I think he does. And I do think that him and I have some very special moments where we communicate in other ways, right? And I know people frown upon that. I hear his voice. I can hear him. I can't hear his voice, but I can feel it. And it's why I fight so hard. And I wish people could understand a little bit better so they would know that I don't do this because I have to. I don't sit up here and advocate for my son because I have to. I do it because I feel compelled to, so that no other parent has to endure what I've endured. And it's happening over and over and over, and it's not stopping. And it's making me sick to my stomach because I don't want to see any more of these babies suffer the way that they have been suffering. And I assure you, this is the truth. My son is suffering. These kids are suffering. And anyone that takes this as it's not is ignorant. And they need to take a minute and they need to reflect and they need to understand that this has been happening and it is happening. And putting 6 or 7 of these poisons into our newborn baby's body at once is hurting them. It is not helping them. It does not protect them. And it needs to stop. And Gavin Newsom, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, end the mandates now.
So, Kasey, I'm 37 years old. I was born and raised and lived for 33 years, 35 almost years in my home country, Lithuania. So,
Lithuania?
My childhood was great, one of the best. Went to school, 12 years in school, lots of friends outside in the yard, lots of friends in school, classmates, all that stuff, right? In all that 30 plus years that I lived in my home country, I only met one person that was a neighbor of mine that wasn't autistic. She had a Down syndrome. Only once that I met in my whole lifetime.
Yeah.
Here in California, it's 1 in 12 boys,
Yeah.
and it was 1 in 17 girls.
Yes, 117. Yeah.
How is it possible, and why nobody is ringing the bell?
I don't know why that's not so alarming. I mean, if you think back, I'm 42. And even if you look back in time, 24 years ago when I was in high school, there was no autistic kids. None. I mean, Down syndrome, yeah. Cerebral palsy, yeah. Autism, no.
It's a new thing.
And it's a new thing because of the amount that we're giving these babies. It's just showing much faster. I'm pretty sure I got the autism. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I got some things, some issues. I got ADD, ADHD. You know what I mean? We all have some sort of neurological deficit, and it stems from putting these things into our bodies. You look back at it. I started taking flu vaccines, because I had to, you know what I mean, 10 years ago. What the heck was I thinking? You know what I mean? Like, we're putting all of these things into our bodies, and all it does is hurt it. It's not helping. It does not protect us, not at all. In fact, the flu vaccine, I can tell you all kinds of things about that. That sheds more than it helps. You're hurting the population by getting these flu vaccines with the types of ingredients that are in them in today's world. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. But we think it's okay. We're led to think that, if when you get a shot and you feel disgusting, you feel sick or whatever from that. I don't do them anymore. But if you do, Why do you keep doing that to your body? That should tell you all you need to know. That's so telling. If you feel this disgusting by putting that stuff in your body, stop. Especially don't do that to your baby. What do you think is going to happen when you put so much toxins and poisons into your newborn baby's body? Why would you do that? Think about that. Why? What are you afraid of? When people ask me, well, what about all these diseases? Aren't you afraid of? No, because I did my research. And I know that the only deaths from any of these diseases come from malnourished countries and healthcare systems that are not flourishing. Not like the United States. My newborn daughter will not die from the measles. In fact, my daughter had COVID for 30 minutes. She took a nap and it was gone, like a normal immune system should respond.
And she will not die from Hep B.
No. And don't even get me started on Hep B. Don't get me started on any of the 6 that they forced inside of my son at birth. None of them were needed. None of them. And also none of them were properly, safely tested ever on any child.
Have you ever done an MRI of your brain of your son?
I've tried. I can't get him to calm down. It's something that we're going to try to do next. I would love to get a neurological scan of some type. It's just getting him to, you know what I mean? Getting him in that tube or doing some of those things. I mean, he would lose his mind. And I hate to see him, go through that when he gets overstimulated. He's been doing so good lately too at our facility. I mean, it is, honestly, he's so happy. He's doing so good. He's less like pain stems and just more happy stems. I feel like he's getting close to saying some type of word. I mean, again, the things that we're doing are just truly incredible with Echoes for Autism. I mean, I'm excited for that. It's just about, we're so close. I have so many kids that are starting to talk, say words, and like that gives me hope. That could be my son. You know what I mean? We're already doing this for other kids, and again, it's just about getting the inflammation out of their micro gut biomes in their brains and healing them to become a normal baby, to have regular homeostasis functionality of their body.
Do you know any adults that have severe autism?
I don't. If I do, it's one in very few. And I mean, we have some kids that are 18, 19, 20.
I'm talking about
I know
40-year-olds.
I don't.
Our age.
I don't. And
Guys, you're watching right now. Do you know any autistic adults?
No.
30 plus years old?
Anybody, please. Also, while we're here, I'd like to also issue another challenge. I want you to find me a baby that has had all 87 plus dosages in their first year of life of vaccines and show me that they're healthy. The schedule.
They're not getting 87 in 1 year.
They are, yes. 87 dosages in their first year of life is now the childhood vaccine schedule. Pull that up, baby. 87 dosages.
In California does a baby
in their first year of life.
Get in their first year of life. I want to say it's like 60 something in 12 years. No. At least. This is in California. 80s. A baby typically receives 9 to 10 different vaccines.
So hold on.
Okay.
Dosages. They're multiplying these dosages. Look, Google
which add up about 18 to 20 total doses.
Look at the new updated child vaccine schedule for California. Yeah, it's crazy. Either way, no matter what, even if it is 30 something plus, it's seriously insane the amount of toxin that we're putting in our baby. Even 5 or 6 at once at 6 months. That's already way too much. That's way more than I've had my entire life.
But why don't they schedule, let's say, 1 a month?
Schedule it out.
6 a day.
And do it after their first year of life. And do it after they're born. Why are we doing it right away? Right after they're new, freshly born. But what are we doing that? Their immune systems are already naturally trained to respond to anything, right? Colostrum, breast milk, right. I mean, everything. That's all that a baby needs. We wouldn't have been here. Right. I mean, how did we all get here? You know what I mean? Like, if people just thought logically, like, how did we all make this mass millions? We'd all be dead if we couldn't function normally with our immune systems. It's crazy, you know?
Kasey, depict me a day of your son right now. How does it look like?
All right. So a day with my son, man. First, I wake up at 4 o'clock. If it's a good night, I make sure that he's still sleeping. If he's had a good night, awesome, then he's sleeping good. We wake up, we get him dressed, make sure that he didn't, have an accident overnight, which happens often. You know what I mean?
Accident?
Yeah.
Like what?
We have, we have to put these onesies on him because he will take off his diaper if he has an accident, and he'll mess with it, he'll play with it, and that's a thing. It's also a common thing. Or he'll take off his diaper and he'll pee the bed, He doesn't like to keep it on, obviously, so he'll take it off. So we have to have these literally onesies. that infants have that are made for 5 years old, specially made so that he can't take off his outfit and take off his diaper when he goes to the bathroom and make a mess. So that's the start of our day, to make sure that he didn't do that. And we have to feed him. And that's a whole other thing because his diet is tough. So we have to make sure we have all the right snacks and fruits and things that he will eat because he's very picky, right? His digestive system is wrecked. His microgut biome is wrecked. His neurological is wrecked. So he doesn't know what he even likes. And the only thing that he likes is obviously sugar, a lot of it. So he's obviously only wants sugar. He only eats peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for a source of like lunch or dinner. And then we have to give him protein bars and snacks and protein healthy things around that. And that's what he has to eat.
He doesn't eat on his own?
Nope.
You feed him?
Nope, we have to feed him. Yep. He'll come over to the table where he watches his TV and he'll eat. He'll start to pick now. He can feed himself like that now, but he won't use a spoon. So he uses his fingers.
Okay, so he can watch a TV. He understands what he's watching?
I don't know if he understands it, but he likes it. It stimulates him, and I think that's what a lot of the neurological stuff is it's stimming, right? It's a neurological stimulation because there's a lot of damage. So to stimulate feels good. It relieves pressure, right? Just like when we put them in our infrared saunas or we use our lasers or we use our vagus nerve stimulator helmets, they have a sense of relief because they're eliminating some of that inflammation. So they feel good for a second, right? So they stim. It's a good stim. The bad stims are when they're overwhelmed so much and they can't regulate properly. And so that inflammation reoccurs and stims the brain so hard that it shocks their whole body.
You have a nanny?
I do.
How much does it cost a month?
Too much. More than I can afford. And I also can't afford to not have her.
More than $2,000 a month?
Oh, yeah.
More than $2,000 a month?
More than $2,000 a month, yeah.
No compensation from the government?
No compensation from the government.
Why not?
Because we're supposed to have him in ABA and behavioral therapists and stuff like that, where that's not even covered by insurance either, by the way. We're supposed to have these special beds to where you can't get out of. I mean, it's so underknown. It's so no one knows anything about what we endure. We should have special beds. We need to have special. I can't dress my son. He has to. He can't dress himself. We have to dress him. We have to make sure he has diapers. I mean, the expenses are insane, and that's why I don't charge at my facility because I can't even afford to do it myself for my own kid.
So let's say in California lives a disabled person, a handicap. He or she can't walk.
Yeah.
Will she be compensated by the government?
I believe so.
So your kid is not disabled up to them.
Nope.
He can do it on his own, right?
But he can't.
He's good.
Yeah, but he's not.
But he can.
He can't.
Okay, once let's say he turns 18,
Nope, he'll be living with me and my wife for the rest of our life until
then
when we die,
people,
who knows?
And government will not take care of him.
Right now, no.
What about when he's 18? Can he go to a nursing home or something?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far ahead, but from my knowledge, I don't think so. I don't think that that's even a thing. I think, again, autism is still labeled as a behavioral diagnosis. It's not. They still think of it. Oh, it's a mom and dad problem. No, it's you hurt my baby problem.
But you take this baby to see a doctor, and he can't do anything with the kid because he's running around.
Yeah, because he's just saying, oh, we more Tylenol, more pills, more vaccines. They don't know what they're doing.
It doesn't help.
No.
So for 3 years, it doesn't help. Anything else?
Nothing. No, nothing.
Same stuff.
Same stuff. And if I want to do treatments, I have to do it on my own, which is why I started my facility. My doctor, Dr. Van Beaver, did absolutely nothing to help but say, oh, it's okay. And then when I asked him about it, like, oh no, that can't be the case. No, that's not possible. Yeah, it did happen, right? You're ignorant. It happened right in front of your eyes, and you did it. You did it. You did this to my son, and you refused to admit it. What about my daughter? My daughter's perfect. Where's her autism? Crazy. No, nothing. No, we did nothing for my daughter. There's no more lies. You can't deny this. This is what we did for our son. This is what we did for our daughter. This is what happened to my son.
Totally fine. Did the shot. Not fine at all.
Correct.
Immediate.
Done. His lights went out.
They cannot connect the dots.
No, they don't want to connect the dots.
Okay, let's take 100% of parents that have autistic kids.
Yeah.
How many of them connect the dots?
So right now, if your kid is anywhere from 5 to 8 years old, you're experiencing the same things I'm experiencing with autism. If your kid is 20, 23, 24, 25, and you have a son that's severely injured from a vaccine or has autism, it's very rare. But in today's world, I'm telling you, it's the age from 5 to 8 or younger. That is where we're getting so many vaccine injuries, and that's what's happening right now. It's not autism.
But how many percentage-wise parents connect the dot that these things cause these things?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like
Man,
nine out of 10.
that's a whole nother thing too, bro. That's a great point. Because a lot of parents don't want to even admit what the causes are, right? So I talk with families, and right now I'd say it's about 5 out of 10 families that are like, I'm with you. I think vaccines.
Every other only.
Yeah.
And all the rest, they're just afraid to admit because
They don't want to admit they poisoned their kids.
caused it.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It
That's
is what it is. It is.
You can't undo
I
it.
live with this guilt every day. Trust me, it's not fun. But if we all admitted this and we all came to the realization that, yes, this is what happened to our babies, then we could find change. And the work that I'm doing could get funded. And we can actually find a cure for autism, which is what ACOS means. No one is trying to do that. They don't want to find a cure. They want to keep their money machine going. The CEOs that I call from California Autism and these other places that are locally in Fresno and Clovis, they don't answer my phone calls. They're too busy on their private jets, on their expensive worldwide international vacations. They don't want me interrupting
What
their
CEOs are those?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you all that. Oh, I want to call them out so bad. I want to say their names so bad. But people that are local autism centers in Fresno, right? Or even here in LA. These autism centers, they're only treating autism biologically. These centers are only treating autism behaviorally. They're not introducing vitamins and demethylated vitamins or nutrients or peptides or stem cell or infrared lasers or brain hub treatment rooms. I mean, I built a room, brother. I built a room that you walk into and it's got near and far infrared panels. It's got PEMF mat. It's got anti-gravity technology, grounding technology. You walk into this room. That's why I'm so skinny, because I'm in this room all day with these kids. It's anti-inflammatory, right? We want to create and regulate the inflammation out of the bodies by also putting good things back into it with vitamins or supplementation that can help regulate and detox the body. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're seeing is working, not behavioral and speech. Now there's a place for that. That works. The RBC base, those are my angels. Now my speech, my occupational therapists, come work for me. Let's go. I'm ready. I want to put it all into one. It can't just be behavioral. We need to help heal these babies from the cellular level, from a biological stance, and understand that this is a neurological damage, neurological compromise, a microgut biome compromise. They're destroyed. We have to heal them.
So you're calling CEOs of autism centers?
I did. I called them because I wanted funding. I wanted to get vendorized from CRVC because I am an autism clinic. I'm a facility that's actually treating and testing autism. I don't get funding. I'm not getting vendorized. I'm not getting grants. Because my stance is different. They get all these hundreds of millions tens of millions of dollars because they're treating it behaviorally like a good boy. They're having all the families come here and they're just doing the same thing over and over.
But are they getting the results?
They are not getting the results. Some because they're lucky and they're doing other things too. The parents that care about their kids, that are really trying, they're exploring other things and understanding this is not genetic. Your son didn't get this nonverbal autism from you, this severe autism. No.
People believe that?
They do. They do. They think it's genetic. They think, oh, this is just genetic. There's no other explanation. It's crazy to me. And I try to explain to them, no, like, I understand that you think, and maybe something else caused it other than a vaccine, but it was some type of neurological poison. This is neurological. This is biological. That's what this is.
So in your opinion, can a child be born with autism?
So that's a very interesting question. And I would love to talk to professionals about that too. I'm open to conversations. I've done so much research. I've done more than any doctor, any scientist that I know. I've studied every hour on the hour trying to find out what these things do to the body and how I can reverse it for my son. Because I have to watch my son suffer every day. These doctors don't care. I want to talk to a doctor because maybe I can get some answers to someone that's not ignorant, that maybe can actually understand what I'm saying about inflammation in the brain, what I'm saying about inflammation in the gut, what I'm saying about helping do all these things, right? No doctor wants to have those conversations because they don't know. So how can I have a conversation with anyone if they don't know?
But do they do research on autism?
No, they don't. They still think it's behavioral. So no one's actually doing the research that we're doing. So when I say specifically, I mean, what was the original question that you asked? What was the first one you just asked?
If a child can be born with autism.
Yes. So yes, thank you.
The first day.
Yes. So going back to specifically that question, that's what I was trying to kind of dance back around to, is talking to a doctor of etymology or vaccinology or even just regular, pediatrics and stuff like that and genetics. If a child that has a vaccine injury and another child that has a vaccine injury and they procreate.
Right.
Now we're talking about something that could also procreate some type of neurological mutation because the MHTFR genes, the genetic. I mean, there's some things to these to where these babies can't methylate or absorb properly. That's kind of the problem. And if they have an MHTFR genome, it's hard for them to.
But vaccine injured, not autistic necessarily,
correct.
or autistic only.
But see, we have to make a definition of what autism actually is, because we don't even have a definition of what autism actually is, because the spectrum is so broad.
So to me, autism is when a kid cannot have an eye contact with you and he cannot concentrate on one thing.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is autism.
That is a neurological disorder. That is autism. You're correct. You are absolutely correct.
So if those two people procreate,
yeah,
what's the chance of having a baby that is autistic?
That's a great question, because I'm only seeing the vaccine injuries from the 5 to 10-year-old babies. Now, the 24 older kids that maybe have more developed and have maybe detoxed their bodies enough to be able to function properly, to be able to make love, to be able to procreate with a significant other, which I would die to have that happen. I just don't think that that's ever happened. I don't think that we're there yet. You know what I mean?
Let's ask ChatGPT. Can an autistic couple have a baby that
has a great question.
An autism right from the birth? Because I want to say no. Short answer, a baby cannot be born with autism in the sense of showing symptoms at birth.
No way.
But a baby can be born with a genetic predisposition that later develops.
Like I just said, I literally just said that. I literally just said that. That's insane that ChatGPT said that. That should go viral. I literally just said that, and ChatGPT just said that without me knowing that. It basically just proved what I just said in my theory. That's crazy.
So, docs, listen. A baby cannot be born with autism in the sense of showing symptoms at birth.
That's crazy.
But a baby can be born with a genetic predisposition.
Yes.
That later develops into autism.
Yes, because they can't absorb, they can't methylate, they can't detox properly. So that creates the neurological compromise or whatever has happened in their bodies to create that type of autism. Again, it's neurological. I'm telling you, this is not genetic. That's amazing to see that. that was actually really cool.
So, brother, this is America, especially California, right? Other states have lower rates of autism.
Massive lower rates.
Massive.
Major lower rates, because they're not meant.
2x, 3x?
Like less, like fraction less, like an 18th of less of the rates. Like 1 in 100, 1 in 150, 1 in 200. Some are even up all the way like 1 in 1,000 still. California is the way that it is because California has mandated vaccines just to have an education. And that is the real problem with their education systems right now, is that we've got all these kids that are getting pills and poisons and more vaccines, and they're becoming neurologically compromised to where they can't develop. They're looking here, they're looking there, they're not paying attention, like you just said. That's happening to all of our babies on a small scale and a large scale, brother. And that's only California.
So what I asked was, give me the rates of California boys' autism rates and Lithuania boys' autism rates.
Oh, that's crazy. Yes, let's see it.
So California, USA, it says aged 8 in California reached about 53 per 1,000, which means 5%, correct? In my country, it says 2.2%, even less. So twice. Yeah. If you take 1 million autistic kids, they can be minimized to 500.
Yeah. How is your country on mandated vaccines? Do they force vaccines for education there? No.
Some schools, but not all of them. What about other countries? Have you ever had an interaction with parents from other countries? Let's say Canada, Mexico. Canada's
pretty bad. Canada's going to start spiking too, because they've got mandatory vaccines too. And we all know what the COVID vaccine did to so many people. We haven't even seen the worst of that yet. You wait and see. That's gonna get really bad and ugly. But the problem is that Canada, they did a lot of forced vaccinations too. So I do talk with a lot of parents from Canada. But I do talk to a lot of parents that are in other countries, and they all tell me that their countries are so healthy, and they
what?
Man, I don't even know some of them, to be honest. I just hear from so many people sometimes, and they're like, "Oh man, keep up the good fight. We love what you're doing. We don't have that problem out here." That type of rhetoric, And I get so much of that, and I'm like, I can't believe that it's that prevalent here in the United States. And then we're looking at California, and this is the common denominator: mandatory vaccines. 1 in 4 boys are affected neurologically. 1 in 12, if you want to be literal, from the CDC website, right? I think it's worse. I think it's much worse. But 1 in 12 is still bad. 1 in 12 is still bad.
But 1 in 4, it means if you have 4 boys,
One of your boys will have some sort of neurological disorder.
ADHD, ADD,
Yes.
OCD.
Yes. Your child will be sick. 1 in 4. If you're vaccinating, 1 in 4. If you're not vaccinating, you will have a healthy baby. It is so crazy to me that every parent in the past 6 months that I have helped not put these poisons into the babies. From speaking about it, talking about it, I consult with parents. I love to do it. I do it for free. I don't care. I will walk them through it. And every single married couple, every mother and father, not a single parent is unhappy or angry that they did not vaccinate their child. Every parent is so happy and thrilled to death. You know why? Because they do not have to worry about autism. They do not have to worry about being neurologically compromised. They get to watch their baby grow up like I'm getting to watch my daughter grow up for the first time. In 5 years, I'm now getting to hear the words Dada from my daughter. Still not my son, but from my daughter. She says Dada religiously, and it is the greatest part of my day when I get home. That is all you need to know as far as vaccine injury and the connection of autism.
Have you heard a parent that told you face-to-face or like messaged you, my kid died because of measles? Or
Never.
You have never had a message like, you don't promote vaccines, but this is what happened to my kid. I didn't
Never.
vaccinate him, and he or she died from Hep B, measles,
I've never.
tetanus.
Isn't that crazy? With as outspoken as I am, I have never received a message from another family that says, "Why are you talking about anti-vaccines? Measles or the mumps killed my family." You know why? Because it doesn't exist.
Guys, so if you're watching and you know any person in your life that has died in the
Past 5 years.
5 years,
5 years.
has died from measles, tetanus,
In the United States.
Hep B in the United States,
You won't find it. Does not exist.
comment below.
Yeah, please comment below. And I know people are trying to talk about the family in Texas, of the one case, because I've done my research. I'm very researched. I can have conversations and debates with anybody. There's one case that was caused by the vaccine, and it created, and then even the parent said that the death was caused by the vaccine for the measles itself, the mRNA. They said it. They're in the interview. You can find the
mRNA, MMR.
or MMR. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, and you can find it in the interview on the YouTube, and it literally talk about it. They say that it killed their baby. And that's the only death that was registered in the past decades
From measles. But
Yeah.
prior to that, they had a vaccine, MMR.
Yeah.
What about tetanus? It's a scary disease, they say, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, you can put in Chat GPT-2 right now, ask when the last death of tetanus was, and it will blow you away. In the United States, but when was the last death in the United States from tetanus documented?
I couldn't find a public reliable record pinpointing the exact date of the last death from tetanus.
You cannot make this up.
From 2013 through 2022, the Centers of Disease, CDC, reports 13 deaths from tetanus in the U.S.
Now imagine if those
9
13
years,
deaths in 9 years were
13.
from the shots themselves.
So up to 400 million people live in the U.S.,
Yep.
including illegals, right?
Yep.
350 plus, let's say 20 to 30.
Yeah, let's give
illegals.
it a modest number. Yeah, for sure.
13 deaths in 9 years.
Yeah.
So a chance of getting tetanus and die from it is
It's impossible.
almost impossible.
Almost impossible. If you don't get the tetanus shots, right, and you don't put those poisons in your body, probably impossible. I am a firm believer that those deaths came from the vaccines themselves.
So would you say there's an epidemic of autism in America?
It is the only epidemic. It is the one and only epidemic, and I wish people understood it better, and I wish they would be open to it and stop being ignorant, because they are upset at the messenger that they just are missing the message. People are so tied up on Trump, on RFK, and all this other stuff, which I don't even care about any of that stuff. RFK is my hero, but they're so mad at them for no reason. They don't even know why they're mad, because they don't talk to parents like me. They just blindly follow mainstream media and think that vaccines can't cause autism. But now they changed
Right
that.
in your face, right?
Right. Like, and I wanted to scream like, I told you so, I told you so. But like, we ain't got time for that. Like, we need to come together on this. If there's ever an issue that we need to come together on, it's this issue. It's our babies. It's the safety and health of our kids and the futures of that. So no parents ever have to experience what we had to go through. And so no other child has to go through what my son is right now going through. and confused in this world, not understanding. He's sick, he's hurting, he's struggling. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't know what's going on around him. He likes to watch TV, and that's it. That's what makes him happy. I want him to go outside. I want him to go do things that he can function like a normal boy. That shouldn't happen to my son. But again, I firmly believe that to this day that God knew what he was doing when he gave me my son. He knew that he was going to send me a signal that was going to show me what I needed to do and had to do for our community, for our kids. And that's why I'm here. That's why I drive down to LA, why I talk to people, why I'm trying to get news in these mandates. This is why I fight. This is why I created a nonprofit for my son. This is why I created treatments. This is why I'm broke. This is why I live the way that I live every single day, 16 hours of work nonstop to make sure I can afford to get the treatments that my son needs. And to help the community that I can, because if I hit the lotto, I could change everything. If I had someone that backed what I was doing, I would change everything. I would put up centers all over California, and we would change the narrative of autism overnight. But they don't want that, because that would lose them money. They would cost them money to have someone like me come in and disrupt something so quickly. And I could do it so fast, and I know that I know how to. I know that I'm onto it so deeply, so bad. I just need a little bit of help. That's all that I need. I need someone with the right. I need RFK, man. I need RFK to see what I'm doing. He would help me streamline this so fast, and we would find a cure for autism or neurological disorders so fast. And you think I'm stopping at autism? No. We're talking about stuff like Parkinson's, dementia, all these things, Alzheimer's, all the stuff that's neurological. These are the answers. The things that I'm doing that are helping these kids right now, these are the answers of getting the inflammation out of the brain and the body, the microgut biome. This is how we extend their life. This is how I can take the time clock off of my son. Right now, the average lifespan of a kid with autism is under 30. No one else should live with a time clock on their son.
Why do they die? Because of what?
Why name it. My son would do anything to go outside and find his own way out. He tries to unlock the doors. He tries to sneak away. Anytime I take my eyes off him, he just wants to go and do things that he shouldn't do. I catch him trying to find things in the drawers. The biggest deaths are choking because they can't communicate. They're drinking poisons. They drink bleach. They drink common things that are in your bathrooms. They get out of the house. They sneak out of the house. I knew a kid that died when I was 12 years old that got out of his babysitter's home and died. Got hit by a car. That's why. The neurological disorders if you do not detox the body and you keep injecting these poisons into your baby's body, your baby's going to die. Your kid's going to die. If you keep 87 plus, I know that we're unsure about that number. I'm going to find that 87. Maybe it's not at birth. Maybe it's all over. Maybe it's the whole children's vaccine schedule. Either way, it's like 20, 30 something at birth either way.
The rule said 32 in the first year.
Either way, it's still egregious. Maybe it's 87 dosages over the COVID and the things. I don't know, but we'll find it. One is more than enough because one hasn't even been tested. Not one. So one is more than should be right now because none of these are safe. That's the end of the story.
So, Kasey, there's a crazy conspiracy theory in regards to autism and mainstream media. Do you remember the movie The Rain Man?
Of course.
Do you know the conspiracy theory behind this movie?
I do not.
So the conspiracy theory states they tried to normalize autism back from the 1988, I want to say, when the movie came out. Yeah. He's autistic.
I know exactly where you're going with
it.
And
it's so genius and it's so normal.
Wow.
It's normal.
I never thought of it like that.
To be autistic.
Wow.
40 years, almost 40 years ago.
Who made the movie?
Oh, what's his name? Barry Levinson.
Okay.
Great director.
All right. I wonder if that was publicly funded. Was the Rain Man publicly funded?
Movie Rain. I want to say no. It was Columbia Pictures. The Rain Man movie was produced publicly funded. I want to say no. I want to say it's Columbia Pictures, which is Sony. Rain Man '88 was not publicly funded. It was a fully private studio financed Hollywood production. United Artists, NGM.
All right. Well. Again, where do they get their funding from? You can just follow the trail at some point. But I love where you went with that because, honestly, I never thought of it like that. And that really is the narrative that they were trying to paint. That was right around the time when Jenny McCarthy was coming out and Jim Carrey was coming out against vaccines and autism with their kids.
And you tell me what that was? Because a lot of people don't even know about that.
Yes, Jenny McCarthy has a kid.
She was an actress, right?
Yeah, she was. She was my childhood crush, man. You know what I mean? I loved her. I think she is the pioneer. of what I'm doing in autism in today's world. I'm doing it biologically, but she knew, and she voiced it, and she got buried.
Like 20 years ago?
Yeah, exactly 20 years ago. She got buried when we were in, coming out of college and high school, and she was this big actress, this big smoke show model, and, she had a son that had autism and was vaccine injured. And she went on this rampage talking about how it affected kids and how these poisons are hurting our babies, just like me. And she got canceled. I mean, she's doing podcasts now. I would love for her to come on my show. I would love her to come, I just want to talk to her, honestly, and thank her for what she's done, because she's inspired me to not be afraid of these, big pharma people, because they ate her alive. And if they can eat her alive, they can eat me alive. You know what I mean? They buried her. Now they can't bury her anymore because she's got millions of families like myself that have been affected. You don't become anti-vax because you don't do, you only become anti-vax because it affects you, or you know someone that it affected. That's why this is going rampant, and it's only going to get more and more viral because of what's happening. It's happening before our own eyes, and before you know it, it's going to happen, and everyone's going to realize it, and then people are going to be on the wrong side of it. I'm asking parents and families, and especially medical professionals, to stop being on the wrong side of this. Understand that this is real. This happened. This happened to my son. This is happening to millions of other kids. And we're forcing 5 to 6 vaccines at once into newborn babies' bodies, and that has to stop.
So it says, in 2008, Kerry and McCarthy spoke together at a rally called Green Our Vaccines Rally in Washington, D.C., which aimed to raise awareness for autism and vaccine safety. McCarthy's son, Evan, was diagnosed with autism in 2005, so 3 years prior to the interview. In interviews, Kerry described interacting with Evan as, there is a difficult moment when you first meet a child with autism. It took a lot of patience and a lot of love. So they were together, Kerry and McCarthy?
I think so, yeah. I forget the whole story about it, but
but she's gone. It's like
disappeared.
I didn't
so
know
did
she
Jim
was
Carrey.
an actress.
So Jim Carrey disappeared too. Yeah, he was one of the biggest actors ever. I mean, in comedies. I mean, he disappeared. They basically gutted him too, and they made him out to be crazy. When he remembers his stunt at the Oscars or whatever, and he went off on this whole tangent. Like, they made him to be crazy. And
his life story is very crazy because he had a girlfriend that committed suicide.
Yeah.
And he was out for a few years. A lot of people blamed him for that. I want to say that girl's parents blamed him for taking for.
Yeah, he even got into some dark movies too, some dark acting movies.
Number
too.
23.
Yeah. I loved him, but again, that's got to mess with you. It messed with me. It messes with families, and when you're told something and you believe people, and you think everything's going to be okay, and you're going to grow up with your son, and you're going to teach him to do all these things, and that changes in a very flash before your eyes, and gone. His whole life gone. I mean, where's the justice in this for all these kids? Where's the attorneys? I don't understand. I need to go after my doctor, my local doctor. He lied to me. That's negligence. He literally knew what was going to happen by putting all those vaccines at once into my son's body. He knew. He lied to me. He said he didn't know. Dr. Van Beaver absolutely did know. We asked him about it. He said, oh, no, it's perfectly fine. It's safe and effective. Whereas he's watching this for the past, how long? He's been a pediatrician. He knows that this is hurting the kids. And now it's proven fact. He said vaccines don't cause autism. Well, guess what, dude? CDC just said that's not true. You lied. Where's my lawsuits? That's negligence. Where are we at? That's a lie.
The claim vaccines do not cause autism is not evidence-based claim. This is what CDC came up on November 19th.
Yes. Where's the lawsuits? Where's my son's lawsuits? Let's go. Where's my attorneys? Okay. I'm ready.
But do you care?
What's that?
Would you care about the lawsuit? About the
I actually don't. You know what I want? I want a public apology. I want a public apology from my doctor. I want him to look me in my eyes and say, I'm sorry for lying to you. I'm sorry for what I did to your son. Your son did not deserve this. I knew that this was going to happen, and I let it happen anyways because of money. I want that. I want that on public record. That's it. I don't even want the money. I want him to say that, and I want him to publicly acknowledge what he did to my son. That's it. I want an attorney to come after him for that. He can have the money. Keep all. Win the case. Win the suit against the community centers. I don't care. I want a public apology from Dr. Van Beaver.
But if he knew what is coming, there is a possibility. Let's say 10% is the possibility that a kid can have autism because of the shots. If he knew about even 10%,
even though,
that's it. This is heinous.
Yes, heinous. 1%. If you knew that there was an effect of 1% of putting multiple doses in once. And if you're a doctor...
They should have said that to
God,
you.
they
There is a
do.
chance of 1% or 10%.
I know, nothing.
You
No,
getting,
no chance. You're perfectly fine, safe, and effective. He lied. That's negligence.
But me drinking, let's say, milk.
Yeah, right.
I have a 0.001% that I'm
Yeah.
gonna get someone else.
I didn't even. We didn't even got inserts. You know, all the inserts for what could happen. What does happen?
Let me read it.
Those literally tell you what's going to happen to your baby, and we still let them do it. Isn't that crazy? We let them tell us what's going to happen, and we still do it. It's wild to me.
So let's say I'm asking ChatGPT, give me the ingredient list of MMR vaccine, every ingredient. So let's say we get this list of ingredients. Let's say you go to see your doctor and you take this insert and you read the ingredient list.
Yeah.
It says measles virus, mumps virus, rubella virus, sucrose, sorbitol, hydrolyzed gelatin, sodium phosphate, potassium phosphate, all that stuff. Doc, can you explain me each ingredient? What does it do?
No.
Will they explain it?
No.
They have no idea?
No. So my wife is also going through nursing school, and every doctor that I speak with, they tell me that their vaccinology course was maybe an hour in their entire schooling. These doctors don't know
6 years, 1 hour.
in 1 hour. Or maybe one day, some of them. But they don't do the research of what's actually in these things and what could happen to the body. If they did, if these doctors, and I say this with every ounce of like, please take some accountability in my heart. If you're an actual doctor and you do the research that you say you're doing, you know exactly what those ingredients do to a newborn baby's body. And if you put 6 of them at once, what do you think is going to happen? You know what's going to happen. Because if you're a doctor, you just looked at the insert. You know. If you looked at that insert, you know the risks. Again, my doctor lied straight to my face. He's seen the inserts. He knew the causes. He knew what could have happened. Didn't tell me. No, it's perfectly safe and effective.
So no more mercury in the vaccines, right? Thanks
Well, that's
to
what they're saying. We'll see. You know, are they really taking the mercury out?
So why is mercury in the first place in the vaccines?
Ask your scientists. I have no idea. I could tell you a lot about vaccines. Vaccines are made to create, for layman's terms, they're made to create fear and chaos of the antibodies of whatever disease you're trying to prevent from, right? Mm-hmm. When you think about that, right, when you're putting chemicals and mercury and aluminum to cause this rampant fear to create the antibodies or whatever, right? You're damaging the body. Like, you're putting things in the body that don't belong in the body. And then once it gets past the blood-brain barrier, it sits there. And that's what's doing so much damage to so many people, the neurological damage, right? It's getting past and going to the brain.
But do you want to tell me that in the last, let's say, 50 years, they cannot invent a new adjuvant?
You would think they would, right? With all the money, the resources, the
Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. Find me a safer way. Find me a safer. Why aren't we even trying? Why are we not trying? Because they're making too much money. And they're making it off all of our backs. The insurance is the biggest scam, all the things that they're doing, everything. So why change that? I mean, everyone's blindly taking these poisons. That's cool. Let them take the poisons. I encourage you to do a ChatGPT search. And I want you to ask, how many of the big pharma executives take their own vaccines? And bro, I've seen some reports. All high executives actually they're admitted in these videos. It's like a video that came out. They've never taken a vaccine or given a vaccine.
I couldn't find any reliable evidence. Okay, but let's.
You know what I'm saying?
Why would they say it on the record?
Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah.
It's like they're admitting that they're not doing this. Maybe follow our footsteps.
Yeah.
We're the executives of the company that produces this stuff, and we're not taking it.
Yeah.
But you should.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, right?
Make no sense.
So I always have this question. So we have a vaccine from COVID, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we have a cure from COVID?
Yeah.
If I get COVID, I take a pill or something, a shot, and I get well.
Yeah.
Why do you have to prevent it rather than healing it?
Brother, that is the question that everyone should ask themselves. Because if you ask yourselves that, if you get something,
Heal me, please. I love doctors,
right.
please.
That is something that we all want, right?
Right.
And we want to do it in a way that we don't put poisonous toxins into our body. Like, I don't know why that's so difficult to understand. And if you're going to put poisonous toxins into our body, please explain to me why we're doing that. There's no one that can explain to us why we're putting some of these ingredients into some of these vaccines. Like, there's tons, and they're putting amounts that you shouldn't be putting into a newborn baby's body, and that's what's hurting them. And it's just logical. Just think about it. What else is hurting them? What's hurting them? What hurt my son? Perfectly healthy man and woman. What hurt my son? What caused him to go from a happy, healthy little boy?
Climate change.
I like you. You're my boy. That's hilarious. That is good. You know what I mean? It's crazy. What did that to him?
But you know what's crazy? So in California, 1 in 12 boys, 1 in 17 girls have autism, right? But in California, we have 300 sunny days, which is the best antiseptic, vitamin D, immune system.
Bro, you're
friends, right?
Now. Yes.
We got the ocean, we got the fresh air, we got the mountains, we have everything. And at the same time, we have the highest rates of autism. It doesn't make any sense. Let's say that was in Minnesota, North Dakota, right? Yeah. But not in California. No. It makes zero sense.
No, it's crazy to me. It's raw. What are the autism rates in Florida? I'm actually just curious about that. What are the autism rates in Florida with sunshine? And I think they just released all the vaccine mandates. So I'm just curious.
Very similar climate, but it's just too humid, and so California 1 in 19. In Florida, let's say it says 1 in 20.5. Same stuff.
Oh, same stuff, huh? Wow.
Well, at least this is what ChatGPT says.
Yeah. Well, again, we've been mandatory vaccines for so long. I mean, it's the whole thing. They just released their mandates. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in 3 years from now from Florida. Now that they've released all the vaccine mandates, and now it's a choice for everybody. You watch those autism, they will decline. They'll decline like crazy. So good for Florida.
Brother, you remember it says in California, 55 out of 1,000 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Italy is almost the same climate as in California.
Yep.
13.4, so 3 times more rare.
Yep.
In Spain, 1 in 7.
Wow. You know, they always say the food over there too is just different. The less toxins, less chemicals in the food and everything. It makes sense. I mean, all the stuff is just healthier. But again, you look at the Amish community. You look at different types of.
Is it true that Amish almost do not have any autism?
Yeah, of course, and they don't have any neurological disorders. No Parkinson's, no dementia, no anything.
Ever had that conversation with the Amish?
I would love to.
I'd love to have them on the show.
Yeah, I would love to have.
But they're a closed community, right?
Yeah, they're a closed community, and I like that. I think that's cool. I think that they're, they know. And they're like, we don't want that craziness stuff out here. And their lives might be a little bit different and not accustomed to all this craziness in LA or, New York or big, areas. But, they live a good quality life. They live long. They don't have disease. They don't have all the stuff that we have. And I mean, honestly.
But the older I get, the more I understand Amish.
Yeah, me too.
It's like nature.
Yeah.
Cattle.
Yeah. Kids.
Yeah.
Family.
Neighbors, friends.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. No news.
Yeah.
No cable. You don't even have the possibility to get
no anxiety.
Right.
No depression. No stress. You do your work. You do your job. You provide for your family. You live in your household. I mean, dude, I wish I can live in a community like that. I wish I had the ability to do so. But that's not my life anymore. It's funny. I was telling Michelle on the way up here, I was like, man, it's hard. I'm constantly going, go. And I could choose to just sit back and not do any of this and just try and help my son and help my family and get rid of all this stress and anxiety that I have doing the things that I do. But again, I feel like God put us on a different mission. There's not a better calling than watching your own son suffer.
How do autistic kids interact with animals? Dogs, horses, cats. Do you have a pet?
Yeah, we have a dog. I had a big white German Shepherd, and his name was Raiden, and we had to put him down a couple of years ago.
Raiden?
Yeah, Raiden. He's a white. Yeah. He's a big old white German Shepherd, so I named him Raiden, God of White Lightning. I'm definitely a nerd. I can't help that. But Kiptyn loved him, and he got cancer, and we had to put him down a few years. But he really enjoyed Raiden. He would when he was born, and he would come cuddle close to him. We have a big Rottweiler that my wife has, but we were just kind of scared to kind of let the Rottweiler near any of the babies. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just she's so sweet. She's a lover. She's not going to do anything that we know of, but I'm not willing to take that risk with animals. You know what I mean? So we just keep the dog out in the backyard or whatever, and we'll let him play together and supervise. And he loves to come just slow pet, but I do think, again, like I said, I can hear my son speak and I can feel him. I can feel him think. And I can feel when he likes things. I can feel when he doesn't like things. And so it's all about the energy. Like he would love you. He would come run up to you. He would grab your beard because daddy can't grow one. So this is like 3 months and I got to shave, you know what I mean? But he loves it. He loves it. He just come up and you can feel it. You can feel him. Dogs, he loved Raiden. I don't think he likes Remy because I think Remy is all up in his face and she just wants like all blah, blah, blah. Raiden was more chill and he could just pet and calm, where she's too attentive. But
why I was asking is
that's why I said there's that schedule. I'll send you that. I'll text you that too. And there's a couple more that she sent me. I'll send you some more stuff. Again, it could be wrong. It might not be factual, so we don't need to air it. But
yeah, because there is no source.
Yeah, but there's a couple other ones.
Let's stick to 32.
I like it. It's still
Google says 32.
It's still a lot, bro. It's still so much. It's crazy.
So in regards to animals, I want to say
I heard the CDC. She linked me to CDC.
You know how it says you don't fix anything that is working.
Yeah.
If it's working,
yeah.
Don't fix it.
Yeah.
If my body is working,
yeah.
I'm not gonna fix it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to fix.
No.
I'm good. You remember when they told us in 2020 to 2021, one of the symptoms is not having any symptoms.
Yeah.
Make it make sense, right?
God created us, man, in a way that we're naturally made to heal. And if you actually really research the body, it will blow you away. The way that we can protect ourselves, our immune system, our neurological, there's so many things about our body that I can't even explain to you. And probably some doctors can't either. And there's miracles that are happening left and right every day. I'm seeing kids that are 13 years old, aggressive, nonverbal, now speaking my name. Those are miracles, and they're happening at my facility. We're doing this. My son played soccer, kicked the ball with another child last week. We videoed it. It was amazing. He was interacting with another child for the first time in 5 years. He was playing a little sport. That brought the biggest tears to my eyes of joy. And that's the type of stuff that we're doing, because we're not going to sit back and accept this bullshit, this lies, the rhetoric, the gaslighting that vaccines can't cause autism. No, I'm a dad that watched it happen, that just wants to heal my son, that wants to prevent this from happening from the rest of our babies in our country. I don't know why that's hard to understand. And I don't know why people like Gavin Newsom can't simply say, damn, this really is actually hurting our children. I'm going to stop the mandates right now. That's all he has to do. Why doesn't he do it?
Because he's about to run for president.
And
he wants the money.
He wants the money. He can't.
It's all about that fucking money.
It's all about
the money. Billions upon billions.
Billions, if not trillions now.
You know, so what crazy is, let's take Hollywood actors, right?
Yeah.
They have millions of dollars.
Yep.
We've been told Will Smith can take 20 million. So after tax, let's say after his agent, he has like 10 million per movie, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, those actors, A-listers, they don't care about their own kids, meaning they have their kids trans, sick. So it's not even about the money, or they're in such a cult that they don't care about their own kids.
I think they get caught. I did the whole reality TV stuff. I was in the Bachelorette franchise, and I did quite a few shows. And you get caught up thinking that's that's your lifestyle, right? They produce you, they direct you. It's their narrative, right? It's what they want. It's what they want to get out of you for ratings. Now, I was on reality TV, so it's a little bit different because they wanted to portray it as real. It wasn't real at all.
Oh,
yeah. I know. Sorry to spoiler alert. I could walk down that hole. That's a whole different conversation. But again, it is an evil business, and it's there to manipulate the cast to get the rise and the ratings that they want, and they'll use and abuse anybody, right? Same thing in this narrative with our medical system, right? These pediatricians know that these things can cause harm, and there's still some out there that are saying, oh, these are safe and effective. Forget RFK, forget all this. No, just take all your vaccines at once. And they're hurting these babies. I'm watching it happen. I have friends that I warned, do not take these vaccines. Do not take any of these things at birth. Dude, please, if you're going to do anything, give it a year. Space them out. None of these have been tested. I had one family go against me in the past, I don't know, 6 months. I've been really, really meeting with families and talking with families at ACOS for Autism. They vaccinated and they fully vaxxed.
And?
He's nonverbal. Nonverbal
Say that
autism.
once again.
So it's 6 months. I mean, we don't know if he's fully nonverbal, but the problem is he got sick, spiked the fever, 104, 105, and he's already doing the same stimulations that my son did.
And he's now what?
And he's now 9 months. And so he's constantly, he's getting ear infections already. He's getting sick. He's getting cold, flu. I mean, his immune system is completely down all the time. They're going to have to go do the whole adenoid surgery. I mean, same thing. The same thing that I went through after we did exactly the same thing, and I told them not to do it. And now I'm helping them walk through it, unwalk it.
You're saying he's not nonverbal, but kids,
well, I know
9 months they don't.
I
speak.
know. I what I'm saying is that's going to be my speculation, and I probably shouldn't say that because they're probably going to watch this too, and I don't want to say this. I probably prefer not to keep this in there. But for you and I,
Yeah, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah.
We're not bashing. We're not saying.
No, but
we're not lying.
but the truth is, this family literally came to me and they were like, well, we're just so scared. This doctor says this, and then I'm telling them, you don't have to be afraid of this. Like, don't be afraid of the mumps. Don't be afraid of the measles. No, your baby's not going to die. I promise. I promise. Like, you're going to be safe. Don't do it. You're going to feel so much better knowing that you do not have poisons in your baby's body rather than knowing that you have poisons in your body's baby, wondering if it's going to affect it. How would you rather live? By putting poisons into your baby's body, worrying if those are going to affect your baby, or not doing it at all and not having to worry about anything? Common sense, right? So I tell people, they say, which vaccine should I give my child? And I always say, oh, the safe and effective ones and the ones that have been tested. And they're, oh, which ones are those? None of them.
But it's not true. So if I ask ChatGPT, they say all of them were tested.
No, they were not properly duly tested with the placebo. There's a way to test them. None of them were safely tested. Ask ChatGPT, were any childhood vaccines safely and properly tested?
What child vaccines were safely and what?
And properly tested with the placebo. With a dual placebo.
With a dual placebo. Dual placebo means what?
It should pop up right now. I'll explain this.
This is a great question, and it's important to give a clear, factual, science-accurate answer. Okay. No modern childhood vaccine is tested using a dual placebo trial.
Did you know that?
Explain to me, what is a dual placebo trial?
It means that how they test anything properly, so you can get an actual result from it, right? So if I have a case study or a clinical trial of 100 kids, it's just for instance,
Okay.
right? I have to have 50 kids with the actual medication that we're testing and 50 kids with the placebo, right?
Vitamin C.
Yes, exactly. So we need to see the what actually happens with the placebo and what happens with the actual cure or testing or whatever they're testing it on, right? They've never done it with any of these vaccines, and I just proved that to you just now. Is that crazy? They've never properly tested childhood vaccines.
Second point, which childhood vaccines were tested with actual saline placebos? Many childhood vaccines have been safety tested using saline placebo control groups. What does it mean, saline placebo control group?
I'm not too sure what that one specifically means and what they're testing for, right? Because there's going to be different testings for different vaccines and different ingredients and different chemicals. So a saline placebo means that it's probably just a saline placebo rather than a vitamin or something like that. So it's not an actual, you know what I mean? It's not the actual treatment. It's going to be just saline.
Okay, so let's say I'm RFK Jr. I'm the head of, not the CDC, I'm the head of what? HHS.
Yeah.
FDA, CDC is under me.
Mm-hmm.
I am the guy.
Yeah.
Why don't I start doing double placebos right now?
I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I have for RFK, and I'd love to have a conversation with him too. And I personally think that he is strapped, and I think he's still handcuffed. I think he's
By who?
By Trump's administration. I think that Trump is in bed with a lot of big Pfizer, big pharma companies. He's endorsing all these companies. He's doing $80 billion deals with these guys still to this day. I love Trump. I think he's doing an incredible job for our country, and he's doing some great things. But I think he needs to take a step back and realize that this is bigger, and RFK needs to be louder. And I think if RFK can get louder, he's going to start to make some more headway, because RFK has the support of the country. Like he does. The parents like mine, the people that want our kids to be healthy and safe and treated properly with good health care, we're on team with RFK. We want MAHA. But the problem is you've got these big pharma, billions of dollars, that still make decisions in a lot of these environments. And so, I mean, I watched when Trump, he touted that, oh, my COVID vaccine was so good. Bobby walked off the stage, dude. Like, Bobby was so angry. Like, he knows. Bobby, and that tells me all I need to know about RFK is still trying to get around some political handcuffs.
Do you remember the press conference when Trump announced that he is lowering the price for Ozempic?
Again.
That guy collapsed.
Yeah.
And RFK was out in a second.
Again, because you know what Ozempic is? Ozempic is still I have peptides, my own private label peptides. That's what I literally white labeled my own private label, the most purest peptides on the planet. They took my GLP-1, which is a pure peptide, and they mixed it, and they with literally TSA, snail oil, and preservatives to keep their shelf life.
Snail oil?
Yes, TSA. You can see TSA. It's literally snail oil. You can Google this. You can ChatGPT it. Snail oil that's in Ozempic and Wegovy. They mixed it with. Look at what are the ingredients. It's TSA in Ozempic.
What's TSA?
Snail oil. Look, do it. Yeah, put it.
I just said snail oil is in Ozempic? Question mark. No, Ozempic does not contain. What about
It did. Say a TSA.
Why it's so good? Specifically the snail oil.
I don't know. As a preservative, I think. It's literally just pops up in it, but it's mixed in.
How do you come up with this?
I found it.
Snail oil.
It's in the ingredient list. It's if you go to the actual ingredient list of Ozempic and Wegovy, it's literally in this stuff. It's the preservative. It trips me out, man. And we blindly let it go. There's preservatives and chemicals. That's not a pure GLP-1.
Okay, Ozempic ingredient list. Give me the ingredient list of Ozempic. But that was funny how RFK Jr. just
I know, just
out.
right out,
bro.
But you know, because he knows, you know what I mean?
knows.
Like he knows. It's exactly what's been going on. All these things are, people are gonna be dropping down, like especially from the COVID vaccine. That COVID vaccine is not good, man. The stuff that they put in there, it's not good.
Ozempic ingredient list, active ingredient, semaglutide.
Yeah, that's the GLP that should be. That's all that it should be. Yeah. Just semaglutide. You don't need nothing else. That's it.
These help stabilize the medication. Disodium phosphate dehydrate, propylene glycol, phenol, preservative, water for injection.
Yeah. All preservatives.
No
all
snail oil, no TSA, no animal fat, no gelatin.
Well, hopefully they took that out. TSA isn't something. There's some. It's either maybe it's in Wegovy or something. One of the other ones.
Let's ask where can we find TSA?
Yeah, ask what weight loss ingredient can we find TSA?
What loss? Weight loss.
So crazy.
This snake oil. But Trump said he had another booster a month ago, right?
Yeah. Because we do pure peptides. So we do pure peptide therapy. So we do a GLP-1, GLP-2, GLP-3 at my medical facility. So we do a lot of those types of things, all natural. Like that's why we do it.
What's a peptide?
So peptide therapy.
As if I'm a 10-year-old.
Yeah. So peptide therapy it's amazing, man. It's like, think of it like little biomessengers, right? So like you put little aminos into your body and we send them to your body to signal them to recreate, to regenerate, to do more what your body is already producing. So like for GLP, it's going to put in more GLP semaglutide into your body to help you regulate more. But whatever your body needs, we can help do that. So if your body needs to heal, or if you have an injury, or if you need weight loss, or if you want to prevent surgery, right? So like if you have a shoulder injury, you can do body protective compound 157 and thymosin beta. Those things are directly going to go into your body. They're going to help heal that area and take out the inflammation of that area. And your body's going to know exactly what to do with that.
So there are certain amino acids, aka peptides, that can do only shoulder injury, but not the elbow injury?
Oh, everything. No, everything.
Oh, just the...
You can target it. You can do local injections, but the
you inject it?
Yes, these are injectables. So you can inject them and they just go to your body. So that's what GLP does. That's what Wegovy or Ozempic does. It's made to regulate your appetite, sugar, different types of sugar cravings. It really does wonders. A good pure GLP, if there was no preservatives and no chemicals, it's a great thing to have. It's amazing. It helps do a lot of great health benefits. But when you start mixing chemicals and TSA, which obviously they've taken out, which is great, but they're still leaving some chemical preservatives in there. But that's good that they're taking some of the stuff out. I'm actually happy to see that. That's good news.
But what's wrong with Ozempic then? What does it do in the long term?
So long term, you don't want to be on it technically long term. Again, you don't want to be on preservatives, right? You want to be on a nice dosage that's helping you regulate properly so that when you get off, you don't need it anymore, right? You're already regulating to the point to where your body is now normalizing. You've got mental clarity, you're healing, you don't have sugar cravings, you've lost the weight, and the inflammation is now gone inside of your body, right? So you're feeling great. You've got the confidence. It's good. It's such a great thing. But if you're taking it with chemicals and fillers and preservatives, you're doing a lot of that into your body. If you're just doing natural peptides, you're just putting natural peptides. Imagine taking a bunch of pills like Tylenol with a bunch of other preservatives and fillers and binders in it. But that's the problem with our supplementation in today's world. It comes with chemicals to preserve it.
But can those peptides disbalance my organism?
No, not at all. It's like your body's like a sponge, so it's also putting like vitamins and nutrients into your body, right? Peptides and minerals.
Can it be on a specific peptide for the rest of my life?
If you want to, yeah. If you want to continue to optimize your body and create more of what you're trying to create, like we've got some great NAD biofermented NAD products, right? I love NAD. NAD is incredible for you. It's good mental clarity, makes you feel good. I don't give that to my son. We do other microdosing of other peptides for neurological regeneration, but NAD, energy, mental clarity, I probably won't ever stop taking that. That makes me feel great.
And these are pills?
Anti-aging, no. Peptide injections. I have peptides, biofermented, pure peptides, pure aminos, pure NAD.
But that's a new thing, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
5 years, 10 years max?
Yeah. They've been doing research on peptides for a very, very, very long time, which is what intrigued me. I started looking at all the case studies on autism. I'm looking up all types of things. I'm looking up nicotine receptors. I'm looking at everything that I possibly can when it comes to healing the body in a natural way, right? And there's a lot of different things that I learned about healing. And if you want to get real crazy,
is it true that a nicotine patch between the shoulder blades can help autistic kids?
I do think so. And by the way, I was right. It's tirzepatide. Tirzepatide is the one that has TSA. It's sold under the names like Mounjaro. So it's
Mounjaro, M-A what? Yeah. How do you spell Mounjaro?
Moungaro. So Zepbound. Zepbound is their name. They call it Zepbound. Zepbound has TSA in it.
Okay. Yeah, so have you ever tried nicotine patches for a kid?
So yeah, I did it for my son, and I do it for myself too, and I feel great when I do them. I do them in regulation. I cut them up in little tiny microdoses. The first time I did it for my son, he got really amped up. Like it was too much for him, right? Because there's a little dose, so we still cut them up in still little small patches, right? Because no one's going to give us the dosage that we want to try it with, It's funny because tobacco was used in a lot of Indian native cultures to live longer, to preserve life, and they did foot soaks with tobacco. So for the nicotine and
foot socks.
Yeah.
They did tobacco in socks.
Soak. So they would soak their feet.
Oh, okay.
Into the tobacco plants, right, for the nicotine, and they would live to 180, 150, and they would be healthy, no health problems. So you can actually look up.
You want to say Native Americans?
Yeah.
Indigenous?
Yeah. So they would do
all the records.
Yeah, you could look up they do the tobacco. They still do it to this day. I have some friends that we go up to the Table Mountain, the casino or whatever, and we have sponsors that help us with our stuff like that for our golf tournaments, and they tell me that their culture, their family they still do all the tobacco foot soaks with the leaves. It's crazy, and they are all healthy. No autism.
Wow. Okay. So what are your thoughts on nicotine? Let's say pouches.
So again, if you go
for a regular human being,
I think they're great, and I say this because there is actual research on this. You can find a case study from, I think it's Yale, Harvard or Yale, one of these big colleges, and they actually did a case study on glioblastoma, right? So they actually put this type of tumors in cows' brains, and they wanted to try and see if they could eliminate the glioblastoma that's in the brain. They did it in 3 days, and guess what they used? Nicotine. Gone. Completely gone, eradicated. And they just abolished the study. And this is the public, and you can still find the study.
So the problem with cigarettes is what? Smoking?
It's the inhalation process. Anything that you're doing, it's going to be the delivery mechanism, right? So do I think smoking nicotine is a good delivery mechanism? No. There's other other things in a cigarette than just nicotine.
Right.
There's way more chemicals than just the nicotine. It's a delivery mechanism. Take out that nicotine. Look at all the guys that are doing the Zyn pouches.
Right.
I'm sorry, but they're healthy. Like I see dudes that are doing the Zyns and they're healthy, and I'm like, dude, they got good mental clarity. They're kind of crazy. They're funny. They got good personalities. And I'm like, I'm laughing because there's these golfers that are being these personalities, and they're doing their Zins and their little whatever their things are. You know, I think it's funny. I think you shouldn't be overdosing it, but I think if there is a place for nicotine, let's see the research. Let's educate ourselves on it. Let's try it, and if it works in a regulated environment, then why can't we do it if it's helping people? I'm going to continue to try it for my son on a very smaller doses. I wish I can get a pure form of it, not a patch. Right? I wish someone would just prescribe me pure nicotine. That'd be helpful. And
in what form? Tincture?
Sublingual, yeah, tincture, great. You know, anything like that, that'd be awesome.
So ingredients of a cigarette: it's tobacco, which is nicotine, TSNAs, and the heavy metals.
some more preservatives for
Then
you.
additives: ammonia, sugar, cocoa, hemictants, which is glycerol, propylene glycol, keeps tobacco moist, and menthol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
RFK Jr. is doing nicotine pouches, right?
Sure, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to get some. But my son can't do a nicotine pouch. He'll choke it, he'll try to chew it, he'll try to eat it. You know, he doesn't understand it. So I need some type of dosage that's a slow, accumulative dosage that's not going to make him sick. Or
Slow release?
Yes, slow release. Yeah.
Okay, what about Methylene Blue?
So we have not, I did have drops. I did not try those on him. I try everything first. Okay. I do.
I'm totally hell here.
Yeah. I have to, I'm pioneering this stuff. You know what I mean? So I do have to try it myself. I did do the Methylene Blue. We also have Nano Blue IVs. So we have the IVs, which I think are a little bit more better for you than the actual drops, because the IVs are more pure. That I get, they're more pure, and that goes straight into your system. Where the drops, they have preservatives too, which I don't like. I didn't let my son try the drops. If he would let me do the IV, I would let him try the IV and the hyperbaric oxygen and then red light. That really kind of reoxidizes the cells on a cellular level that I think could really help him heal big time neurologically and get his body back to a regular functionality. So there's a lot of things like that that I think can work. I have not tried that yet. Again, these are things that I'm researching, what these ingredients are, what they can do to the body, how they can mitochondrially benefit the body, how do they work in succession, how does hyperbaric, how does the pressurization of oxygen go into the cells, how do we advance that and help heal these with mitochondrial benefits with Nano Blue IV, and then how do we permeate it with red light? There's just so many different things. How does that work? Why does that work? It will work. And then if we can help heal that, I think that there's a way to get stem cell and exosomes past the blood-brain barrier with certain other things too that I don't want to say yet, because I think I'm onto something pretty big. But again, it's testing these things, right? And I can't test these things. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a dad that's trying to find results for my son, but no one wants to admit the truth of what autism is. And until we admit what the truth of what this type of autism is, I'm never going to get the help that I need. That's the truth. Unless I find a millionaire that says, dude, I love what you're doing. Here's $1 million. And I promise you, if I find a millionaire that does that, I'll give him a 10X literally in a year, because I will scale these centers out all over California, because it's 1 in 12. You've ever wanted a need? Do you want a need? Supply and demand. What do you want? What do you want? I'm an abundance of over kids. I can't even afford to stay open because I have so many kids, and I don't charge. I do it for free. So if you're an investor and you want to make a big return and you want to make a legacy, hit me up. Go to ecosforautism.org or just call me. You know what I mean? Come see my facility. Come to Fresno, Clovis, California, and come see what we're doing, because we are changing lives. We are healing these babies.
But autistic people are not beneficial to the state, because every 12 boys autistic, he's not going to work, he's not going to pay taxes, but he's going to be on welfare. So we're going to tax more the regular people that pay taxes, that work, but they're not giving any of.
At least you're smart, and you can see that. That's another great point. You know, there's I think it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5, but let's just say it's 1 in 12 boys. Who cares? 1 in 12 boys. That's everyone in this apartment. That's one in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's affected. You know what I mean? And when you're a small little neighborhood. So my point being is, at some point, 1 in 12. When that continues to do double and triple and quadruple, yeah, you're going to have all kinds of kids on HHS or IHSS at home services that are going to have to be taken care of by multiple people. And how are the parents going to afford that? I mean, it's going to crush our entire economy in California. You're 100% right. I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen if things don't change. And that's why I fight. That's why I advocate the way that I do, because it's a disgusting, evil system, and no one is doing anything about it, man. So I appreciate you having me on here, because no one wants to talk about this like this. They don't want to have good conversations. They don't want to expose this. They don't want to be caught up in it. I did a podcast in my home in Clovis with a buddy of mine that's a big trainer, and it's a local TV station, KC 24 and 47. I did a podcast with him and I recorded it, and I'm going to expose it at some point, but it was a great podcast. We talked about everything. We talked about vaccines and my stance on everything.
They never aired it?
They never aired it. They never put it on the app. They never put it out. He never sent me a collaboration. I haven't asked him about it yet. I'm going to, because I want to know who cut it, and I want to call out those people, those producers specifically. But that's the type of rhetoric that comes with this. Mainstream media doesn't want to cover this. They don't want to talk. No one's covering the CDC, new edition. No one's admitting that. They still don't want to admit it because their dollars come from pharma in one way, shape, or form.
But brother, the last time RFK Jr. allegedly said that allegedly Tylenol causes autism, pregnant women did what? Pregnant women were filming themselves taking Tylenol.
Dude, again, that is because people are so angry at the messenger that they are missing the freaking message. Why can't you stop for 2 seconds and take out your hatred for Trump, for RFK, or for whatever you think the mainstream media is trying to gaslight you for?
Or Biden, Newsom, Obama.
Yes. Get that out there. Just take 1 minute with me and just stay with me right here, right now. Just follow me. Just a dad that had to watch his son's lights go out, that had to watch it happen after an injections that he wasn't supposed to get. And you watch it happen. And there's nothing else that you can say or do. That's not genetic. That's not some of the bullshit. You watch it happen. And you're told by everybody else in the country, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. That didn't happen to your son. No, you did that to your son. Blah, 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 blah. I know I did this to my son. I allowed it to happen to my son. But the more that we try to deny that happened, we're never going to get answers. And we're never going to get resolved, which is why RFK is really the true hero in this. He is pioneering people like myself that have watched this happen to step up and say, this has to stop, this has to change. This is the only answer. This is the only logical explanation for what happened to my son. And there's nothing that you can do to say anything about it. And there's no scientist, there's no doctor, there's no anybody. Anyone that watched what happened is going to tell you the exact same story. It is sick that people want to gaslight families and throw dog shit at families like me that say that this is what happened. The only people that say that are people that have no idea and are completely ignorant. And guess what? Most of them are on the left side of politics. That's it. And I don't know why. I don't know why people on the left side of politics don't want to believe our stories. I don't know why. And I'm not either. I don't even care. I want to help my son. And that's all that should matter. To left, right, center, middle, doesn't matter. All I want to do is help our babies and make sure that this never happens again to anybody else, because it's happening every hour on the hour in our country. Period. We are poisoning our babies every second.
So I believe people, parents, or not parents, just youngsters who do not believe your story and millions of other parents' story that raise autistic kids, maybe they should find an autistic kid in a family and come to that family for at least a day, right? Yeah. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Or just talk
themselves.
Just see it for themselves and stop acting like it's not real. Vaccine, why would you be so ignorant to just think, oh man, all those 15,000 milligrams of mercury, aluminum, and adjuvants and dead baby DNA, no. That's fine. That's totally good for a 6-month-old baby. Can we just start there? That's where we have to fix all of this? It begins with that. Stop putting poisons into our newborn baby's body and let parents have the decision without feeling guilted or gaslighted or manipulated to make that decision for an education system. That's egregious, it's evil, and it needs to stop.
The last question on our podcast is always the same. Let's have 2 assumptions with you. Assumption number 1 is President of the United States of America is the most powerful human being on planet Earth. Assumption number 2 is you become one. You become the President of the US. And once you do so, you have all those secret services, 3-letter agencies at your disposal, CIA, FBI, all of them, right? National Security, HHS. They come to you and say, congratulations, Mr. President. Now you have an access to all the information in the world. We know everything. You ask us a question, we give you an honest answer, and this is going to be the truth. What would be your first question?
How long have we known? How long have we known? I want to know how long we've known that vaccines can hurt our babies. Because I know that it's much longer than what people let on to believe. You know, otherwise, Jenny McCarthy 20 years ago and beyond, Jenny McCarthy's, there's a lot other Jenny McCarthy's 40, 50 years ago, lots of doctors. I feel like we've known for a very long time, and Big Pharma has known. Just like they knew with the opioids, just like they knew with the other drugs and the other poisons. I want to know how long we've known and who knew.
Okay, so 2 questions. Number 1.
Sorry, I know it's 2 questions.
Let's say
I really want to know how long we've known and who knew.
let's say they give you an answer. Let's say we know since the 80s or the 90s. Would you expose it as a president to the public, that information? We knew for 30 years this thing causes this thing. Would you expose it?
I would.
Okay, question number 2. What do you
I
think?
know that wouldn't be an easy decision, but I would, because parents need to know. I also think it's more than what people think. I think there's so many kids with some type of autism in our country that most parents don't even want to admit it or acknowledge it, and they don't even get the diagnoses. They're just living with it. I think there's more to it than we even know.
What do you think is the next autism?
Anything that they could cover up for money, you know, I mean, like cancer, you know, I have a whole different conspiracy on that, but at the end of the day, I really think that anything that they can create to make money that causes mass destruction will be the next autism. Will it be a biological weapon that they call autism? Maybe this was the entire time. Maybe vaccines were always made to be a biological weapon, and that's been the mass destruction of us for so long. Maybe that's what they knew. Maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. But what I do know is that it has been evil, and it's been happening for so long, and we could have stopped it long ago, and we have not. And no one said anything about it, and no one's tried to stop it, ever, except for Bobby.
What about other countries? Because with almost all the conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theories, I have one problem. This happens in the US. What about other countries like China, big countries, Iran, Russia, France, Germany? What about the big pharma companies over there that are local, let's say Russian big pharma companies do the same stuff?
Man, I think America mostly pioneered these vaccines. I think we created all of them and we sell them to countries. I don't know if there's actually big pharma companies in other countries except for maybe like China, Russia, and maybe they have their own companies. I don't know. I've never heard of them. I've never done research. That's a good thing that I should probably research, is other international pharma companies. I feel like the only companies are United States pharma companies.
But they're not American based. All of them are Europe based.
Really?
Pfizer?
Yeah, Pfizer's. I think you're right. I think Pfizer is Europe based.
Switzerland, I want to say, Austria, Germany, BioNTech. Pfizer based in what? Let's Pfizer is based in New York, but it wasn't found.
United States, maybe it's United States Pfizer. I don't know. I'm sure they have other, but see, I think they have other chapters in all these other countries. You know, all these biotech companies. I mean, I think there's so many popping up now. You know, and where's all the cures? Like you said, where's the cures, dude? Like, there's vaccines. That's not a cure. Like, we were so eager. I mean, think about the mentality. When COVID came around, we were so eager to find a cure that we forgot all it was a vaccine. There's a massive difference. There's a massive difference. Like, why were we so excited for a vaccine to go back out in public?
Because there is a massive difference in the income of a cure and the vax. You take the vax.
There you go.
Regardless you have it or not.
Sick,
you take
bro.
the cure only if you have the disease.
Sick, bro. So sick. Make money for doing nothing, for not even being sick. And then guess what? We're going to make you sicker, make you come back for more shit.
Thank you for coming. I know that was a long drive.
Yeah.
If anyone from the audience, guys, if you can help, any kind of help, visit acresforautism.org or DM Kasey on Instagram.
On Instagram, honestly, I really just am looking for help, funding, resources. I'm looking for someone that just wants to make a difference. I have the facility. I've got a beautiful facility. We've got the staff, we've got the people. We're doing it for free right now. And we're not getting, any type of vendorization and grants or funds. We're getting denied, even though we're showing incredible work. Like, you can look at my videos, like no one's doing this, nobody. And I just want to scale it. And I want to help the kids. I just want to make a difference, man. And I know that I'm already doing that. And if we can make this bigger and broader, it would be incredible. It would be life-changing, and it would be revolutionary.
The most important thing that you have is not your facility or the red lights or any peptides. The most important thing that you have is the eyes that are burning. You got these eyes that full of energy, right? So once you get those, you can move mountains.
Exactly. And investors know. You don't invest in doctors. You just don't do that. You invest in CEOs that have the drive, the ambition, and the passion and the fire right now that will change everything, and will not stop until I do, and will not stop until I hear the words from my son that says, "I love you, Daddy. Thank you." That is all that I'm living for right now. Nothing more, nothing less. And I will have that day, and I will seek all of my receipts someday on the people that told me that vaccines do not cause autism, because they do, and they have, and they will continue to do so until we stop the mandates and change the algorithm, change the chemicals, change the ingredients, change the name. Again, like my man said, F the vaccines, we need a cure. We need to find a way to stop all these symptoms, period.
Amen.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you for having me here. It means the world to me, man. Just getting my message out, just even saying what you're saying, man. Even being in alignment. I'm very grateful for you. I'm very, very, very grateful to be here. So thank you again, man.